You're listening to the Pagoda Boys, recorded at the No Limit Cafe, downtown Pagoda, Tennessee. We hope you enjoy this episode.
The Pagoda Boys are sponsored by Craig Barron Surveying, West Tennessee Crappie Fishing Guide Service, Chase Petty Outdoors, Pine Bluff Materials, Universal Contractors, Nutrient Ag in Wimberg, Jimmy Moppin, Hidden Hooks Ministries, Pete Kaiser Accounting Services, Mud Lake Planning Company, DeKalb Asgrow and Delta Pine, Outer Limit Power Sports, Dr. K's Tin Cans, Hurt Seed and Halls, K-Rose Farmers Gin, Jove Cotton, Waterfowl Outfitters of West Tennessee, Tyson Foods in Newbern, Cypress Creek Outdoors, Duck River Bird Taxidermy, Farm Credit Mid-America, Ford Construction, Hilliard Farms in Nauvoo, Window Alexander Realty, Choctaw Transportation, Steepleton Tire in Memphis, and our very own Childress Farms.
Hello, listening world. This is Pagoda Boys. We're broadcasting from the Low Limit Cafe, which is in downtown Pagoda, Tennessee, the duck hunting capital of the world, self-proclaimed. It's actually opening day of squirrel season. By the time y'all hear this podcast, it may be the day before Christmas. I don't know.
Or Valentine's.
Christmas.
Probably Valentine's.
The Low Limit.
You want to do this?
Hey, we picked up a sponsor during the Squirrel Stew.
Well, that's good.
Kyle Jackson Scouting.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Yep.
Well, maybe the people that handle the posting and things like that could get him added to it and could get this podcast posted, downloaded for Christmas.
Well, that's enough of that, Tony.
Merry Thanksgiving. But anyway,
possibly.
We're fortunate to have a couple of special guests here today who I'll introduce later. But first, we got to muddle through the gibberish of Wally and RT before we can get to that. So, Wally, why don't you start? Why don't you
Thank you, Tony.
chomp some ice, too, while you at it.
Thank you, Tony.
You're welcome, Wally.
Finally, you give up the mic for a minute because you're trying to steal the glory.
Don't get
Wyatt
glory.
Wyatt won't be here today. We don't think he'll ever be back, so we banished him again.
But this bobblehead's here.
The bobblehead's here, and it don't leave for some reason.
Hey, why don't you pull him over?
Bobblehead?
No, number 45.
45. Oh. Come here, sir.
All right. He filling in for White.
Yeah.
I don't know if the bobblehead's in the shot. I don't know if the bobblehead's in
Well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. We went on our annual Pagoda Boys squirrel hunt, and it was epic. We tried to, most people try to be the best at what they are. We see who's actually the sorriest at what they are.
And Wally won.
And no, last year I won. I took the 20 gauge, couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, so this year, single shot Tony with his single shot 16 gauge and sniper boy RT brought a 22. And every once in a while I hear, pew, pew. Tony, pow. Pow. So,
one shot, one squirrel.
I really think RT took the crown of the worst squirrel hunter of the group. Now, he did kill one with his 22.
I did.
I counted 93 shots.
No, that's not true.
Tony, one time he went pow, pow, and I'm thinking, how did he go pow, pow?
I think you went pow, 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 pow.
Then they accused me of shooting 50 shells, but I only shot 19 shells to kill 6 squirrels, and I lost one.
You shot more than 90.
Yeah,
so
you shot quite a bit.
Either RT takes the crown as the worst squirrel hunter in America,
or you did,
which we're proud to be, because you got to be the best, and you can be the best of the worst, but still the best. So that was our annual squirrel hunt. Then we had a good squirrel stew and had a good time.
Yeah.
RT, you got anything to add to this? Because I'm going to comment on the squirrel hunt.
Well, first of all, I was going to, give Bubba and Mel a shout out for cooking the the squirrel stew. There was a hot bowl, a mild bowl, and then there was a rabbit stew.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I got the hot the first time. Had a little heat to it, but
That's good.
it didn't hit me at first. It took a second, but it was good. Appreciate Bubba doing that. We had, I don't know how many people you think, 20?
More than last year.
Probably 20 or 30 that come and ate.
Hey, we're up to 24 listeners too. We've actually met a goal. We got
Now,
24 listeners now.
Reference to the squirrel hunt. I bought that 22 and hadn't got the hunt with it yet, so I thought I'd take it. So that's why I took it. And it was very difficult to get a shot on one and then to actually hit one because of you had about that much when they were on that limb. But Wally did a lot of talking about us shooting.
And
You shot, I don't know if it was you, but somebody over there shot, it sounded like 3 boxes. It sounded like a dove hunt. It didn't sound like a squirrel.
It was Wally. That's who it was.
I go hunting to shoot. I don't go hunting to walk through the woods and look for a 22 shell flying by my head. But every time I heard that noise, I looked all through the woods because I thought he was aiming at me. So
I heard your pellets come through the trees a couple times.
Captain, single shot, and sniper boy. I mean, it ain't nothing like it. That's all I know. There's no way to explain it.
Wally shot at least 2 boxes of shit.
I did not.
He did at least.
It did, and I did. I said, you know what? I'm gonna go old school today. I took a model 37 Winchester single shot, 16 gauge, and I had a good time with it.
It's not about how many you kill.
It's how much you shoot.
You tried to. You probably had the hardest. I mean, you killing one with all those leaves and stuff was probably more of an accomplishment than me killing some with a single shot.
I felt pretty good about
Tony's
killing
the
one.
Wally killing 6 squirrels with 10 boxes of shells. But anyway, I figured it out.
So I retained my crown.
When you shoot with a single shot, you need to have another shell between your fingers. So
Worked out.
Well, I know
it worked out pretty good.
He did shoot several times where it was like a pow, pow.
Oh, I shoot at them as they ran through the trees. A bird fly by, I'd take a crack shot.
He was trimming the leaves.
But anyway, that was the squirrel hunt. Luckily, I think we ended up total with 10.
Yeah.
And they're being cleaned, and somebody's going to eat them.
We'll have a squirrel stew next year.
But not with them. But you know, it sure was good to put your shotgun in your hand again and caress it, because I use my duck gun.
Oh, the weather was nice today, too.
Just to hold a shotgun and shoot at something is really...
That may have been the problem, Arte. He was caressing his gun too much. He should have been aiming it.
She's a good gun.
Anyway, anything else y'all want to say before
Captain single shot?
Before I get to my to our guest?
Do you want me to do this now?
Yeah, do it. I've got an announcement now that we said that.
Oh, here we go.
A friend of ours, which I can't say his name, but he's hunted with us before, had a baby boy this week.
Oh, good.
Well, we've texted and he sent us pictures. He also told Tony, the last text he told me, he says, make sure Tony has on his running shoes next time I see him. So Tony and this friend of ours are 1-to-1 in races. The friend of ours did not know either race was going on. He won one of them, but the second one, Tony out-old-manned him.
That is the term he used.
Only way I can see Tony getting out of this is if Tony don't show up. That's the only way. But our friend, and we know you listen, Tony's going to be trying to figure out how to outsmart you. Like he might take off 30 minutes ahead of you, say, oh, yeah, by the way, this is it. So it's Pagoda Boy rules, and it's on.
Well, I didn't use all the old as quote, old man knowledge, end quote, that I have. But congratulations on your son.
Oh, beautiful little boy. Wife looks sweet lady.
Yeah.
First time we've ever seen either one, and We're happy for you.
Look forward to seeing him again.
Yeah.
Anything else before I get
Maybe
to
we can let that
And take them on a duck hunt.
that little fella's first duck hunt be with the Pagoda Boys. Now that'd be the experience of a lifetime he wished he'd never had.
Yeah, but by then who'll be carrying us? I guess RT, he'll be about our age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, look good.
We're going to get a van.
All right. Anything? You're going to get some wheelchair. Anything else before I get
That's
to our
all right,
guests
son.
who have taken their time to come and be with us today?
Here, y'all wake up.
They've been sitting here for 15 minutes waiting for us to introduce them. I'd like to introduce our guests, and we're lucky to have them here. We have my father-in-law, Tom Foster, and over here is Mr. Tom's good lifelong friend, I think I could say, known each other a long time, KW Dennison. And what they're going to talk about is, well, first I hope that Mr. Dennison talks about his dad and his duck call making. KW's dad was Earl Dennison. You can look it up, world famous duck call maker, the duck call man, and KW. You don't mind if I call you KW?
No, sir.
KW was there when it was happening, and they're also going to talk about hunting the Obion River before it was channelized in the area, kind of downriver from Trimble, but upriver from Lanes Ferry. And anyway, Mr. Tom, we got your introductions. Like, look what he's got on his head. This
What about
time.
that shirt?
Chato.
He's repping.
Who won the ball game
Yeah,
last
tell
night
us.
between Dyersburg and Dark
I did not go listen to part of it on the radio. From what I hear, both teams played great, went into overtime, and Dyer County come out with the win by 1 point. It was a good game by all accounts, and sounds like everybody has reason to hold their head high and just, Dyer County, hope they go forward and win the rest of the game. Trojans, hope they go forward and win the rest of the game. So good luck to all of our Trojans and Choctaw fans.
I knew it'd be. I thought it would be a close game just because.
What do you think, Mr. Tom?
That was a politician
I
right
learned,
there.
I learned this from Tennessee fans. Every time Tennessee wins, you see a lot of orange the next day.
Yeah.
So Dyer County won. I pulled out my arm.
I agree with
There you
that.
go. These guys Memphis State hat on.
Yeah.
You
Did
have
they
to wear
win?
it when they win or lose, either one.
Now, it's a Memphis State hat.
Yeah.
It's not Memphis State anymore. It's University of Memphis. So that's old school right there. And, KW, won't you introduce yourself? Well, I'll introduce him part of the way. You were born 1939, graduated high school in 1958.
Yes, sir.
Correct? Then you went to Memphis and had a career down in Memphis.
Yes, sir.
Now, what did you do in Memphis? Just tell us about what you did by work.
Okay. I was in the electric department the entire time that I worked in Memphis. I started out more or less working with the street lights. And then 2 or 3 years later, I transferred up to what we call a regular line crew.
So you worked for Memphis Light, Gas, and Water?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you did that for how many years?
I stayed for 30 years and about 4 months, I think.
Okay, and you come back, and then you had another career, didn't you?
Yeah, I came back in '89, and I started work at the Ford place in Dyersburg. But the lead up to that was Tommy Dennison was sales manager there, and he had encouraged me to come and go to work with him. But he had a car wreck.
Now, Tommy was your nephew.
Was my nephew. Had a car wreck and got killed.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd already put in for my retirement and stuff, so I went ahead and retired and came back. And sold cars at the Ford place for about 5 years. I wanted to get in sales business, see if I could sell, because Daddy was a salesman, and a duck call and line like that. And I just wanted to kind of get the feel of it, sell, pressure, understand all that. So it worked out good. I enjoyed it.
And then you retired from that and stayed retired?
No, I retired from there and went to the city of Newbern, public work director. And
Okay.
I stayed public work director for about 9 years. And I had a lot of back trouble, had some operations and stuff, so I quit that. And a few years later, I don't want too long later, I had some people come to me. They asked me to run for mayor.
You were mayor in Newbern for
8 years.
2 terms.
Yes, sir. So after that, I retired.
Now then you retired.
Yeah,
Then you retired.
yeah.
Now when you went down to you were raised in Newbern.
Yes, sir.
Went to high school in Newbern.
Yes, sir.
And let's talk a little bit about your dad. And what did your dad do for a living?
Daddy was, let me start out with this maybe. Daddy was 50 years old when I was born. So by the time I was 10 years old, Daddy was 60. Well, back then, 60 was old.
Mm-hmm.
We consider people being old. But I went on a trip with him in 1949 selling duck calls, and we stayed gone over 2 weeks. We went up Wisconsin, all up through there. And the sporting goods stores back in, they was large sporting goods stores. They'd have a mixture of guns and all kind of hunting stuff too. But biggest part of the people that I met, Daddy, they thought I was his grandson. And that's first stuff I remember from Daddy said, "No, he's my son." They said, "Oh," but anyhow. Like I said, 60 years old was old, and I was just 10, but I had a time in my life at the sporting goods place, and they wanted to know if I could blow a duck call. I said, "Well, sure, I can blow a duck call." And they'd get me around up there, and I'd start blowing. Back then when I was 10 years old, I could blow a duck call a whole lot better than what I can now. But I was around them all my life and listened to Daddy blow, my brother blow, and I was always picking up different ones, blowing this, that, and the other. So I learned how to blow the duck call.
Now your dad was Earl Dennison.
Yes, sir.
And he was the duck call man. That was his marketing. That's what he marketed himself as. And he made. Now I've got some, and I put a couple in front of KW. These are from my collection, and I think Artel takes some pictures. The duck calls your dad made were what we as duck call collectors call the real foot style. They were wooden. They had metal reeds. They had wedge blocks, and they had, people call them butt pieces. I call them stoppers.
Back stopper.
Yeah, that is, and they were metal reeds. They weren't plastic reed duck calls. And when did he start making these duck calls? Do you know?
Tony, I can't really tell you. I don't know nobody in the family that narrowed it down when he actually started making the duck calls. Ever since I could remember, he was in the duck call business, and every car that he'd get, he always put Earl Dennison, the duck call man. Newbern, Tennessee, have a phone number, and things like that I remember. But he was considered a world famous duck caller at one time.
Now he had one of his lines of duck call. He called the
Stradivarus.
Yes. After the violin, the best violin in the world, and being a duck call collector, I think I know a little bit about Earl Dennison because I've got several of his duck calls in.
How many you got, Tony?
Oh,
More
I've got more than a neighbor, but not as many as I want.
Well, give us a round number.
I probably got 100 at least of his.
I didn't know that either.
I got checkered duck calls, laminated duck calls, and I tried to limit my collection to Dyer and Lake County, which is the judicial district. And I've heard tales or people or stories where your daddy would go. He would, at the beginning of the duck season up north, he would kind of follow the ducks down, taking his wares and selling them. Is that correct?
That's correct. I'll fill you in on this, Tony. When usually before duck season opened in Dyer County, Daddy him and my brother always had a duck calling at WDSG Dyersburg. And back in, we had 2 ducks. One of them was old Tootsie.
Oh, yeah.
Sit up on my daddy's shoulder. But now I used to go with them, and I'd take both of the ducks, one under each shoulder, and just go to the corner. And they'd start blowing that duck call, both of them, and old ducks start talking back to them.
Yeah.
But they did that. They did that for years opened always about a week before the season opened. They always had that program on WDSG.
And your dad had a, I've seen pictures of your dad with the duck call on his shoulder, blowing a duck call, and that duck's name was Tootsie.
Tootsie, yeah.
What was
Greenhead.
what was the other one's name?
Can't tell you what it is. I forgot what it was. Old Susie. But they were tame. We kept. Say we did. They'd every so often, Daddy would cut the wings on them to keep them from flying or leaving. But we had ducks for ever since I could remember. But now, Daddy and them, I can remember them telling us that when first started duck hunting, they used live ducks.
Live ducks.
Live ducks, sure did.
Your daddy told you about stories about him hunting over live duck decoys?
Yes, sir.
We ought to try that.
Well,
I think I've seen videos
Next
of
season.
people doing that on the lake.
videos?
I mean, pictures.
Well, I think it was pretty common, but it was outlawed about the.
Well, if we
20s,
don't
30s.
shoot, or as bad as y'all two shoot, it wouldn't really make that much difference.
You can't hunt over them. I mean, you can't hunt over live decoys. But anyway, quite frankly, the way I blow one of these things out here, it's kind of like a live duck.
No, it's like one that's shot.
In the throat.
Yeah. I've been told that, like I said, when you're collecting duck calls, and your dad's duck calls are very desirable in the collecting world, some of the more fancy calls, like the checkered ones and the laminated ones and the things of that nature, the ones that are made with better wood, like curly maple and things like that, it seems like you find them up north.
Well, if he started selling the first year,
Well, that was his higher priced duck calls.
they were richer up there.
They had more money, had more income, more disposable income, and the ones you find around here are I mean, they're still wonderful duck calls, but they're just more plain.
That's correct. I think you're exactly right.
Now, did you ever help with making the duck calls?
I worked quite a bit on it when I was quite young. My brother, he encouraged me and tried to get me to work on them a whole lot more than what I did. But I was interested in ball playing and playing more than I was working on the duck calls. But Daddy, I don't think ever made me work on the duck calls. But now I worked on a certain amount of them when we had them turned out. We always sandpapered the inside the barrels and stuff out and got them good and slick and worked on things like that. And then I did a lot of polishing the duck calls when I was young, and enjoyed that. And but that really, when you get down to it, that's about the main two things that I did with the duck calls.
I know before we began this podcast, I showed you some of the ones in my collection, and you could say, you could tell. You said those were the ones that we did by hand, by how they were polished and things of that nature.
Every bit of it back in was made by hand.
Now, your brother, after your dad got out of the duck call making business, your brother also continued with it as well,
Yes,
correct?
sir. Yes, sir.
And his name was?
Everybody called him Tom. He had initials like I did, WF.
His name was WF, and they called him Tom.
Tom.
Where did he get Tom from?
I don't know, a nickname back in those early days like that, everybody had a nickname just there.
So WF stood for nothing.
Don't know who is named after, just like I was named KW. But now Daddy told me he named me after KW Rogers, which was, he lived in Dyersburg at the time being. He owned several grocery stores, Piggy Wiggly's and places like that. But Daddy knew him, and that's where my name came from.
So KW is not short for anything. That's it. Your name is the letter K, the letter W, and Dennison.
That's correct.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. And your brother, who everybody called Tom, was WF.
Yes, correct.
Now, you told me earlier before we started doing this podcast, you saw an old outboard motor over in the corner that's here. And do you mind telling me that story again? When you saw your first outboard motor, who bought it, where they bought it from, and what y'all did with it?
The first thing I can recall was my brother had it.
Now, which brother?
That was one that when the duck call business.
Tom.
One they called Tom, yes, sir. He bought it at the Western Auto Store in New Bern. It was a Firestone. And I think maybe it was a 3.5 or a 5 at the most. But I can remember when he bought it, we went fishing. He carried me fishing with him. We had some cans, and we put those cans out, baited those, and that boy, we started catching those fish right and left. Had that outboard motor, and we just run on and get that can when it come up and ignoring them. Had a lot of fish we caught, but that's the most fun I ever had in my life, fishing. I love to fish too, but
I guess that was kind of like what they call noodling now. Mm-hmm. Now, where was that? That's what I found most interesting.
We was at what they call the elk pond back in.
Elk
pond.
Okay.
And since then, they cleared 600 and something acres up there, and when they cleared that, they did away with the elk pond.
Now, how big was the elk pond? Can you remember?
Oh, it wasn't, I'd say 2 acres.
2 acres?
Yeah, it wasn't all that big.
And it was at the end of Sharps Ferry Road?
Yeah. You go down just like they got the levee now built up where you're just pretty well north of it. When I was kids, we used to walk in and out. Me and my daddy would. We fished a lot, and I was telling Tom, I can remember when I was 9 or 10 years old, we'd seine the old slough down there, and I'd be barefooted. But we'd catch those fish, catfish, and I remember coming out, we'd have them in a tow sack. And fins would be eating me up alive. I wasn't big enough hardly to carry them, but I got some awful good memories of when I was a kid.
Now, that's down at the end of Sharps Ferry Road, kind of where OG is now, where he described it.
No, Sharps Ferry Road's the one that goes to Trimble and turns back to Trimble. Yeah, straight out of Never.
It's gonna be West Shark Ferry.
Oh, west of Sharps Ferry. Oh, okay.
That would be closer to
Locust Grove Road.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Right
that's a lot
there.
closer.
And where you'd be headed west, and all once you come to a curve, and head back south. Well, if you went north, that was just about straight. You'd just about be going straight to El Pond, close to it.
Okay. Now, when you hunted with your dad and you and Mr. Tom went hunting, duck hunting back then, had the Obion River been channelized?
Not then.
Not then. So it was the old river?
It was the old river, yes, sir.
Okay. Now, did y'all hunt ducks at the elk pond?
My oldest brother had a duck blind at the elk pond. And I hunted some with him, but I didn't hunt nothing like I did with Tom and my daddy. I went with Daddy when I didn't have a gun or nothing. He just carried me hunting with him. And I can remember the first time I ever shot a shotgun. Jack Wells was with him. We was down at Horseshoe Lake, and Jack kind of egged me on to shoot that gun. I told him, "Why, sure, I can shoot that gun." And I think we had a cripple out there on the water, and they stood me up on a 5-gallon bucket so I could see over the blind to shoot. I shot that 12-gauge shotgun. Like I said, I don't think I was no older than 9 or 10. That dude flew up and hit me in the nose and blooded my nose and all that. But I think that's to this day the reason that I flinch when I shoot a shotgun.
It would make me flinch. Now, did you say Horseshoe Lake?
Horseshoe Lake.
Okay. Now, where was Horseshoe Lake?
Horseshoe Lake is off the road we was talking about.
Sharps Ferry?
Sharps Ferry, yeah. It's back west Sharks Ferry. It was probably a half a mile down there from Sharks Ferry Road, something like that. It's straight as a crow fly.
Now, Sharps Ferry Road runs into the road that you take a right and you go into Trimble.
Trimble, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was that how it was back then? That it ended and then you took a right?
Actually, Sharps Ferry kept going and went to the other side of the river back then.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somewhere or another.
Well, it probably was a ferry.
There's a Sharps Ferry Road on the other side. If you go past Cloverdale.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're on the Dyer County side and you head north down Sharps Ferry, did you get to the end of that road or did y'all turn off before you got there to where y'all hunted?
We turned off before we ever got to the end of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now was Horseshoe Lake a lake, or was it part of the Obion River?
It's a lake ever since I can remember. It and the fish pond too, which was fish pond was a little bit north, wasn't much north of Horseshoe, but that's the first places really that I can remember going duck hunting and stuff like that with them. And between Daddy and my brother, they kept a duck blind there for a long time. They was that's back in when they call it Parks Island. The people in Parkses and Trumbull were the one that owned that land back in, and they didn't care. I don't reckon who hunted what, but I can remember when there was 4 or 5 duck blinds on Horseshoe.
Now, how big was Horseshoe Lake?
Horseshoe wasn't all that big. It's kind of made in a U shape. I guess that's how it got the name. Tom can probably fill you in on maybe the size of it, but it wasn't all that wide at all. But it looked like it right now down there a year or two ago. It looked like you go down there and just catch a boat full of fish.
Did it look when you went down there? Does it look like it did back then?
Just like it did back then. Only thing is not no duck blinds or nothing on it. I think they got it posted, I guess.
Did it keep water all year long?
It holds water year round, yes, sir.
Mr. Tom, now, did you hunt down there with the Dennisons?
Yes, sir. He hunted some with us, yeah.
Y'all let him go with you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We went a lot by ourselves.
Did y'all go?
We just kind of made ourselves at home. If there wasn't nobody in the duck blind, we'd hop in there and get it.
Now, I mean, back then you didn't have 4-wheel drive cars, did you? Trucks?
We had to walk in.
That's what was going to happen. You didn't have 4-wheelers. You didn't have side-by-sides.
No, sir.
So how far of a walk did you have to?
If you walked from Sharks Ferry Road, you was probably end up walking a good mile in there.
One way?
Yeah. But now we had the old what do we call it? Ditch, Tom.
Dredge ditch.
Dredge ditch. Yeah, that's what we always call it. That's where everybody tied their boats up and stuff at Sharks Ferry in there. But now you could go down Dredge ditch, and the Dredge ditch run into the Obion River. But before you ever got to Obion River, you could park your boat and walk out to the Horseshoe Lake. That was the closest. That wasn't probably over a quarter mile at the most walking.
So you had to walk a quarter of a mile.
Yeah.
Now y'all walked on a paved road, right?
Dirt.
Mud.
That's right.
Slow.
Slow to go through.
Yeah.
You got some people now that won't walk 10 yards to get to a blind. They got to drive right up to it.
That was back before we had insulated boots too.
Back before you had insulated boats, and you had to carry in all your shells and your decoys.
Yeah. Well, when we hunted on Horseshoe Lakes, they already had the decoys and stuff out at the blinds. Everybody had them. They left them out the year round.
They left the decoys out year round.
Didn't have to worry about that. And back in.
We was like Wally. We didn't have but a box of shells.
That's
Box
right.
of shit. Well, that's for 6 squirrels. Now,
Y'all were young, though. It's a lot of difference when you're young.
Yeah.
He said 60 is no man. I'll be
That's all we
60
could-
Monday.
well, his daddy was making them walks.
Yeah.
He was only 50.
He was 50 when he was born.
Yeah, but he was more athletic than I am.
Well, I mean, I can't argue there. Can't argue with that.
The hunting was his name of his sport. That was his sport.
That's how he made his living, wasn't
Yes,
he?
sir.
Well, what kind of duck decoys did y'all use back then? Now I've seen paper. We got some up here, paper mache. We got some hard rubber, plastic ones. There's some here made by Tiger Industries. What was the typical duck decoy back then? Was it wood?
No, most of them was a paper or plastic.
What was they? Like a cardboard almost.
Pressed paper
I don't know
type.
what they were made of.
Canvas decoy.
Yeah.
Probably those paper mache
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
That's what they were.
There was a canvas
Yeah.
decoy company in
But-
Union
Yeah,
City.
yeah, there was. Yeah, there was.
But
I know they had you could
let me
bust them
fill you in on decoys. Though, Daddy Jack Wells had a patent, and they made decoys for a while, and they had a little old tray, about 6 inches or something like that. And they first made them, they had that little old tray on them, and they put a steely ball, big steely
I've seen
ball
one of
in
those.
where they'd move on the water and stuff like that. But a lot of people didn't like them. They was a smaller decoys than what most people used back then. But they did make a little noise, but they tried putting some kind of felt and stuff in the end of it, but still you could hear the steel ball rolling. But
They tried to make some motion in the decoys, didn't
yes,
they?
sir. Yes, sir.
Now, how many? Y'all had a blind, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How big was the? How many? What did?
Really, about 3 or 4 people about all could shoot out of it.
A nice size blind.
Back in, that's about as big as they made them. Yeah.
Okay. Now there were 3 or 4 other blinds on that lake.
Yes, sir.
Did y'all ever have any tension between the other hunting parties when it come to ducks and swinging and?
Normally everybody pretty well cooperated. They didn't shoot on your ducks if you was working them and had them on a swing or something like that. The people, we was all good friends that had blinds and stuff there, and we didn't have that much problem. We had more problem if there for a year or two somebody's going down there burning their duck blinds.
Mr. Tom kind of, when I asked that question, he kind of got it. What was your take on that, Mr. Tom? Do people shoot your swings and things?
Well, we had a few that voice was a little louder than others, but yeah, overall he was right. But it was funny when somebody would get stirred up. You know, you'd always shoot a duck on somebody else's swing, but it was. You know, you have some people start calling when they got out of their truck, and they'd call until they got back in the truck, and then you got some people that didn't. But it takes all kind in hunting.
I ain't never shot anybody else's swing
Well,
because I've never had the opportunity.
well, the
That's the
blinds,
only reason.
the blinds there were separated apart. In other words, if
it's pretty
somebody
hard.
got mad at you and wanted to shoot you, they weren't going to reach you where you look blind.
So y'all had people wanting to come and burn your blinds. Did everybody's blind get burned, or just y'all?
Just about at one time, they burnt just about every blind down there.
Now, why do y'all figure that was?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, y'all are from Newbern, and that's closer to Trimble. That's what I'm figuring.
Was it many people hunted back then?
Oh no, nothing like it is now. No.
No, in that area right now, there's no telling how many duck blinds there is.
I don't think there's none on that place.
I mean, in that area, I'm talking about that general area. So when y'all were out hunting, in a typical day, and there was ducks around, you know, there was 2 or 3 duck blinds on Horseshoe Lake. Would y'all hear people shooting off in the distance?
Yeah, you could hear people shooting from Round Pond, Goose Lake, all back more or less further west, north or northwest a little bit. Yeah.
Now,
You could-
Goose Lake.
They're north of Obion Green. Oh. They're all north of Obion Green. Obion Green, what they call Obion Green now, or OG, that was a bottom south and west of where y'all were. Did y'all ever hunt in that bottom?
Now that's where they got where David down's got field now. They bought it from Obion Green. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, Drew Adams and them have that big 700-acre tract.
Yeah, that was. I remember that's where we used to walk when we were going into elk pond fishing and stuff like that. That was. We lived right up on the hill there. We lived out in the country at that time, and we like I said, it's dirt road back in. Wasn't even rocket. I can remember when it was still just all dirt, but. We go in there but
Y'all didn't duck hunt in that part.
my oldest brother had one at the pond. Other than that, that was pretty well. The Goose Lake we all know the Porter family or not. They had the
do.
orchard and stuff like that. Nathan, and he was a good duck hunter, and he hunted over at Goose Lake a lot. And at one time, I'm pretty sure that Tom, my brother, was hunting over there too. They was doing a lot of guiding back when I was real young, say 9 or 10 years old. They'd be carrying people hunting. And I think he had a blind at Goose Lakes too. But Daddy and Parks Tiger at Round Pond had 3 or 4 duck blinds there. That's really about the last place that my daddy did a lot of hunting was there. But that's back when they carried guide and carried people hunting. Parks Tiger was the insurance man in New Bern, and he was a pretty good politician at that time. And
People didn't have no trespassing signs back then. You pretty well just, and we was all in high school. We went where we wanted to, and KW would roam. The only nickname I ever had was Calhoun. That was because I had to keep him out of trouble so much. But
yeah, I gave him that name.
You gave him that name?
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into that in a minute. So when you would be hunting down there, were those fields cleared, or was it mostly woods?
That where Wally was talking about, that was all timber.
Okay, now what about Horseshoe?
Horseshoes timber just like it is right now. Yeah, they've been in cut some timber off of where Horseshoe is in the last few years, several years. But no, it's always been timber around it.
Now, when you and Mr. Tom and your daddy and your brother Tom went hunting, who did the duck calling?
Well, normally Daddy and my brother didn't hunt together, so Daddy normally wherever he was hunting, whether he was at the lake or wherever, he always blew the duck call. And then my brother, he used to tell me, he said, "Blow, I'm out of breath. Blow, blow, blow." So we'd trying to work some of my ducks and stuff, but we just had a good time. Never had no calls.
His brother Harold, I always thought was as good a call as any of them.
He was good.
I thought he could call them. He'd start in on them way off and just bring them right on.
Now, back then, what kind of duck was y'all after?
We was after these little greenheads.
You was after the green
Mallards, yes.
After
Something
mallard.
that had those wings.
Wings. Now, did y'all see many different kind of ducks at that time?
We had what they call the blackjack. You remember them?
Blackjacks, yes.
Yeah. And we had a few teals, and not that many, and it had pretty ducks.
But mostly the mallard was the duck
That's what we hunted, yes, sir.
hunting the mallard.
Well, there's many scrap ducks back then that I remember as they are now.
It wasn't when we were younger.
And, well, it wasn't until probably about the last 15 years. The mallards, you see less and less, in my opinion, you see less and less mallards every year, and more teal and gray ducks. And
Well, see, you have teal season stuff now, don't you?
yes, sir. Yes,
See,
sir.
back then we didn't have that.
Didn't have any teal seasons.
No, sir. We
Now,
didn't,
Wood ducks.
Wood ducks.
yeah, we had wood ducks. Yeah, a few wood ducks.
How deep was this Horseshoe Lake?
It wasn't real deep.
Did you wade it, or did y'all have?
We didn't wade it. It's a little bit over. We didn't try to wade it with our hip boots or anything. It was too deep. We had boat. Everybody had boats down there, but we.
It kind of reminded you of a giant slough, you know, the way it was shaped and around. But, I mean, it was deep enough to hold water year round.
It had cypress trees around the edge.
You'd have
Yes,
a
sir.
boat.
Yeah.
So was it at one? I guess it was an old riverbed at one point. You think?
It looked like one, but, you know, it was just shaped like a horseshoe.
Yeah, I just looked it up on that.
Yeah, I
It's
looked
still
at it.
there.
It looks like
Y'all hunt on the lower end, upper end? Which one?
Lower or on the
We was
east end.
East end.
Yeah,
we went in from say the south end. I'll say about middle of the lake probably, where we had we normally my brother and them always.
you
had
can
the black-
always, just about Dag Wilson had the first one up there. And,
Yeah.
You know, it kind of come on around like that, but
Rupert Toby had the last
Toby.
one on the north end, where if you kept going, you'd hit fish pond too.
well, who all had blinds on that at the time?
Well, Dave Wilson, he lived out there local. He used to carry the people that had the funeral home. Eddie Johnson, all them hunted with Dig. Dig had a pretty good sized blind. And then Inman had one on the west side of the lake. It didn't go as further north as around there on the south side did. But we had one Inman, Dig, and we had one, and we had we had one other in between. The last one, Rube Scobie's was the last one. At one time, they had two around there where my brother built those.
Rube Scobie, is that Glenn Scobie made duck calls? Was that related to him?
That was his daddy.
Now, did everybody that hunted Horseshoe Lake make duck calls?
No. No.
Now, you told me a story before we started that the first couple of days, the first couple of weeks of duck season, your daddy used to do what?
He was always there with Parks Tiger. Like I said, he was a pretty big politician back in. He sold insurance, and he usually stayed in pretty close with if he could get the governor elected, whoever he needed to. And we always had a state shop in New Bern ever since I can remember now, which they got one out on 211 that they built, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. But he was in on it, but
now you told me your daddy used to guide on Reelfoot.
yeah, the first 2 or 3 days, normally the first 2 days every year of duck season, Daddy would always hunt the Reelfoot Lake, and this is where they carried the politicians and stuff like that. Parks Tiger had a blind that over on Reelfoot Lake too. Tom can tell you about that. But Daddy used to carry Albert Gore. I don't know how many where y'all can remember
Albert Gore, the senator.
That's right. He was the one that started some of the interstate stuff, big on it.
And you mentioned another U.S. senator, Kefauver.
Kefauver, yes, sir.
He was a senator
Yeah.
at the time.
Fat Edwards from Union City was back representative.
He was U.S. representative
Yeah.
at the time.
Let's see. They had different one. We had, like I said, they guided and had the captain of the highway patrolman that hunted up there some during the season.
That
with
probably helped out Mr. Tom and his driving, didn't it?
What time frame are we looking at?
This was back in
50s, probably.
50s?
50s and 60s. We started, see, we graduated in 58, so we started hunting 55, 56 on our own, more or less, yeah. We didn't have cars to drive. We was getting around the best we could. We usually, somebody in the family, even though we didn't have a driving license, we'd have one vehicle we'd get to go hunting.
Now, you mentioned when your dad hunted on the lake, he blew one type of duck call, but when he hunted at the at Horseshoe Lake, the timber, he blew a different kind of duck call.
Yeah.
Tell our listeners a little bit about that.
Well, the duck call that Daddy blowed over at Reelfoot, they blowed a lot out because he's out on the water and everything, and he had one that he blowed that took a whole lot more air that he blowed, and it wasn't one that he made. But once he got left Reelfoot Lake, he always went back to the calls that he made and stuff like that. But we always hunted timber. We didn't hunt the open water to mount anything.
So the hunting on the Obion River was timber hunting.
Yes, sir.
Timber hunting.
Yeah.
And the call he blew at the lake was he did not make that duck call.
Did not make it.
Now you told me a story about a duck call you got. You and your brother picked a duck call.
Yeah, the two duck calls, Daddy always carried the one that he blowed at the Reelfoot Lake and the one that he blowed around home hunting there. He made a duck call record, and the one that he played on his record was inlaid. And when he died, I took the inlaid, and my brother took the one that he blowed at Reelfoot Lake. And I got the inlaid, one that he blowed back in. And I don't really know what happened to the one that my brother got. He was in the business and stuff.
Does that look very similar to the one? Inlaid is what we'd call laminated now.
Yeah, that's what it was. They just glued these things together. It sure did.
They glued different pieces, blocks of wood together and turned them.
Yeah.
You could just tell the different colored wood and stuff.
Yeah.
But they glued those things
Yeah.
together.
That's pretty.
Yeah, they would turn them. I've seen pictures of your daddy that purports to be on Reelfoot Lake blowing a duck con. It looked like he had on a suit.
Daddy, back in those days, I don't know where he got to wearing ties. Stuff. Daddy would a lot of time wear a tie year round, and he would go duck hunting, especially hunting over to Reelfoot Lake and places like that. He'd wear a duck tie. Yeah.
He'd wear a tie. I know that I've seen.
Might have been Sunday.
On,
Might have been warmer too.
on turkey hunting, a lot of I can't remember reading the book, and the guy would dress up. I mean, he would be not in a suit, but have a tie, look very nice. And they'd ask him about, why do you dress up like that? And he said, well, if you're going to hunt a bird as majestic as a turkey, you need to look the part. And this was a guy that wrote books about turkey hunting and things like that.
So when you used to hunt turkeys, you look more like a turkey.
Times change. But I think, that guy was older when he said that. I don't know what he did when he was younger, but maybe he just got older and said, he started respecting the animals more than he did when you were younger. When you get older, you respect things a little bit more, I think.
Sure you do.
And
I see why your daddy got up and left the table now.
You do, don't you?
I understand it now.
Well, y'all were thinking it. I just said it. That's my problem.
Go ahead.
Well, y'all
I'm not even going to get it. I'm not even going to start on you, Mr. Tom.
You know better, don't you?
No, I don't know better.
You don't want to go home and catch it from your wife.
Yeah.
No, from his daughter. You're right. Well, let's go back to KW and his hunting. Now, back then, you're blowing the duck call. Your dad's working ducks. How far how close would the ducks have to get before you shot them or shot at them?
Normally, I can remember when they daddy and them used to set them down completely on the water. But my feeling always, I like to shoot them when they come in, cuff them wings, and getting ready to set out on the water and raise up. I didn't have no problem shooting 3 times doing that.
So the ducks would be, what, 10, 15 yards?
No, yeah, a lot of times no further than that, yeah.
So,
Because the lake wasn't, it wasn't, 50 yards across, was it? If it's that far.
We had a place out there we'd mark, and we'd mark it about 40 to 50 yards out, and then we'd shoot anything inside that.
so y'all tried to work the ducks in and get them close.
Tony's trying to lead you into a thing that we're unethical nowadays. But we were taught don't shoot things sitting on the water.
They harder to kill on the water, aren't they?
Now, I've always heard the old time they'd set them and then they'd flush them and shoot them.
Yeah, but I like his way right before they set, and that way they still have to set and then come back up.
Yeah, that's
gives you
what-
even more time.
And I'm fine with that, but I like the part about where it's 10, 15 yards instead of 40 and 50 and 60 yards.
Oh, we didn't shoot way out like they did over at Reelfoot Lake. I can remember going the first time I went to Reelfoot Lake, I wouldn't even shoot. Man, things out of range for me, but they shoot out on that open water and stuff. No, we didn't. We got them in close.
Did they kill them?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
We went hunting, me and Tony.
They didn't kill them like we killed them.
You miss every chance you don't take, though.
Me and Tony's got a good friend, and Tony was with him one day, and some ducks flew over, and he said, "Do you think you could have killed those?"
No,
Tony
that ain't
said-
how it went.
Well, tell it your way then, Tony.
I'll tell it how it happened.
Oh, God.
I'll tell you, because I was
What do
there.
you
and
think, Donald?
Tony's right. It's fantastic. His story is fantastic. It's
great.
And we were hunting there was a little hole in the buckbrush, and he was working those ducks in, and I didn't care if I shot or if I didn't. And those ducks were, and anyway, probably a group of 5 or 6 come in, worked around, and left. And he said, "Dang, I thought because he wanted to set them down, and I wanted this. The older I get, the more I like watching them." And he said, "You think we could have got those ducks?" And I said, "I don't know. I've never shot at ducks that close before."
Well, it was quite a bit of difference shooting open water than it is duck blinds and the timber, because we'd work the ducks and they'd circle around, and you could tell when they was working good, and you could tell maybe the second swing they's fixing to come in and sit down. But we always had to go. We could look out the back of the blind and kind of keep them, in distance, and not. They always told me, Daddy All and them always told me not to never look up when they were working the ducks. So, but if you call in, you got to kind of know where they at anyhow. But
a lot of people think if you just
You do.
But as long as you keep your face covered, which a lot of people don't want to.
My thing is movement.
Yeah, you can't be jerking and pointing and doing things like that.
they didn't ever always say just be still. And me and my brother, when we was hunting, he'd say, "Let's get them." We'd get them. I'd have my gun anyhow, and I'd just come up. And we always pretty had a pattern we went by.
Now, this blind y'all hunted in, it had a stove and a TV and a heater and all those things, right?
We had a bucket.
Yeah, they had a cell phone.
But did y'all even have a stove and a heater and a bucket? I mean, a cell phone in your house back in?
They didn't have a cell phone.
What we did is when we moved to town, we had a
Party
telephone.
line.
We was on party line then.
I
Yeah,
remember a party line. We had it at our house.
yeah. But
Did I have charcoal bucket?
charcoal bucket, we'd usually far that my brother he was awful good. The time we got in the blind, that first thing he'd do before he'd mess with anything, he'd light that charcoal up and get it going. And but other than that, now the blinds that Daddy and Parks Taggart had down on Round Pond, they had gas heat in them. That's the only places I ever went that had gas heat.
Now, is that what they guided out of?
Yeah. They had 3 or 4 blinds. They had it. They had cardboard put up all the way around the thing. It was pretty airtight, but they had the little burners, propane burners and stuff that they burnt.
Kind of like Coleman heaters and things.
That's right. Yeah.
Mr. Tom, you told me a story about hunting with KW's brother Tom on Reelfoot Lake. Now, you told me one of them. Won't you? And you hunted on. It was on a Sunday. I remember you telling me about that. So won't you tell our listening world about that hunt and why you decided hunting on Sunday wasn't a good thing?
Well, I thought it was my last hunt. we had one of WL's youngest boys with him.
We had two of his boys.
Yeah.
Were you there as well?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He was with me.
We was hunting out of Parks Tacker's duck blind over at Reelfoot Lake.
And the wind.
Where was that? Do you know where it was located on the?
Out in Sandburg.
Did it have a pocket or anything?
It's just pretty more or less what I don't open water.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. Wind came up. It got tough. But anyway, we got through the. Started back anyway. People passing saying you can't go out, and it was so rough. And we got no lily pads, and we couldn't come out of it. And so KW and I jumped out of the boat and hung on both sides trying to get it straight. And we finally told WF to carry the boys out. We'd see what happened. And we just got in the lily pads. I thought that's where we'd be when St. Peter called us or somebody called us. But fortunately, later on, sometime or other, he come back by himself and got us. But we was out there a pretty good while.
Was it cold?
Yeah.
I don't know. I was scared. I don't know whether it's cold or not.
We was ending up over at their waist or higher anyhow. Yeah.
I got a big board. There was a big board out there.
Yeah,
but
no.
Was it what? And it was a Sunday, right?
the Sunday. Excuse me, Lord.
The wind was blowing like everything.
Killing ducks?
We
No.
didn't kill a duck one.
Didn't kill a duck.
Did you ever go back?
Never went back.
Never went back to the Reelfoot?
I've been back since then, but I told the good Lord if He got me out of there, I wasn't going to ever go back again. But I did. But it was several years before I went back over there hunting again.
It took a lot of years before it changed.
Yeah, but we.
I thought it was my last hunt, if you want to be honest.
Now, how old were you?
Probably 40 something, maybe 50. I don't know.
Well, we wasn't 50.
No, that'd been 30 years ago.
No, it was.
You got kids, 45, 50.
We had.
You got kids older than that.
Did you have a kid then, Mr. Tom?
No, I don't think so. I don't really know.
Were you married?
I was married.
Did you have a girlfriend?
He was married. You don't know if you had any children. What KW knows. Did he have any children?
I don't think we did.
Did you have any children?
I don't think I did. Now this was because Tommy and Ricky was small. Ricky was real small. Tommy wasn't that big, but you forgot to tell them that when we sent my brother back to carry them out, told them to get all of our shotguns. Well, every one of us had a shotgun. Most of us had Browning, I guess. We told him to get them shotguns out and leave them. Well, he come back to pick us up. He hadn't took a shotgun one out. They still laying there in the boat.
He got excited.
Yeah, we was all excited.
And he was about out of gas when we left the first time, and went out there and back, and out there and back again without any gas. Everybody was kind of pretty excited. But
so when y'all were going out there, people were telling you not to go out there.
No, it came up after we was out there. But when we were coming out and we got to lily pads, these guys that lived out there around Sandburg come by and said, "Y'all can't make it, don't try it." And they just kept going.
See,
That's why you got out.
We had 5 people in the boat.
Well, we couldn't. When we hit that open water, it just picked that boat up straight up and turned it around.
We'd have drowned it out there if we kept on going.
But I was like KW. After a few years, I decided to go back hunting one Sunday, and that time we sunk a boat and it was 4 below. So I made one more promise.
Did you keep that one?
I've kept that one.
Sunday wasn't a good time.
I'm hard-headed. I'm hard-headed.
You told me about that one too, where y'all sunk the boat, and when you got back to the truck, the shells in your pockets were frozen in chunks of ice.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you another hunt on the brother. Quintar Glass and them was the one that run the Tennessee paper in New Bern. Their mother was our 7th grade English teacher, and we all knew each other and everything. But brother carried Quintar, and they had twin boys. They was older than I was, quite a bit older than I was. But anyhow, they went down the drudge ditch, and it rained and stormed that night before and everything. That river was rough. When they hit that river coming out of the drudge ditch, it turned them over. So they all lost the shotguns, and one of the twins held on to the boat, and Quintar held on to the boat, and my brother and the other one didn't. Well, my brother finally got to the bank, got out of some of his clothes and gloves, got back out there and got one of the twins out. Then he got to the boat and pulled it over and got it over and got them all out. But as far as I know, that's the last time Quintar ever went duck hunting. Now I know they didn't go on Sundays anymore.
Well, boats back then, most of the boats y'all hunted with back then, they weren't were they as big as the ones that people hunt in now?
Not now. Normally they was 12, 14 foot. If you had a 14 foot, you had a big boat back then. But we hunted a lot of times 2 and 3 people in a 12 foot boat.
And how big was the outboard?
Most of the time it was 5 or 6 horsepower.
Yeah,
real small. But
you got trolling motors that's horsepower now.
Back then, when the river was out, so it must have been when y'all was hunting Horseshoe Lake. The river was out, or what now?
the river normally didn't get out. We'd have backwater from the rain and stuff like that, flooded fields and stuff, and then it would flood the whole all around Horseshoe. But I don't remember. I'm sure it did, but I don't recall ever remember the horseshoe running over.
Now,
But
when y'all had a backwater, did y'all hunt the blind or did y'all go somewhere else?
We normally hunted the timber down there.
So you walked in and stood?
Yeah, either that or if you had a boat and lucky enough to have a boat and motor, you could get hit. Used to, well, the last good hunt, real good hunt that I went on, Tony, was I was working in Memphis. My brother called me and told me, he said, now we got the ducks, now's the time we need, if you can get off to come to hunt. I asked him, I said, what time you want me to be at your house next morning? He said, I think 5:30, something like that. So I got up and came to his house. We went out. But what I was going to tell you, the first boat and motor that he had down there, you couldn't get to it when that backwater got out. So he carried another boat and outboard motor down there, which he had them. And when we'd have an open, he'd jump in the boat, run out there and pick them up. He had that other boat tied about 50, 60 yards out there behind the blind. We'd carry all of our ducks out there and put in it. Try to
Is it statute of limitations?
Yeah, it is. Nobody's coming to get you
But
because we don't tell the truth enough for it to hold up in court.
There's not enough. How far was the river from Horseshoe Lake?
oh, it wasn't. As a bird fly, it went over 50, 100 yards, I wouldn't think.
Not far at all.
I just wonder if it's how far it is now since they channelized it
I
out.
looked at it, but I don't think it's that far.
It's not that far right now. I mean, the blind, I don't know where y'all familiar with Johnny Parks and them hunts down there. Well, the new river is or 50 yards at the most from where they hunt at.
Now, where he hunts at now, how far was that from Horseshoe?
He's back west of Horseshoe. I'm going to say probably between a quarter and a half mile.
Okay.
Probably a half a mile, if I was guessing.
Well,
It shows about a half mile.
yep.
Yeah,
Now
as
that
the
we
bird
get
flies.
on X, you point a thing and you point a thing.
How far?
277 yards from where I hit on the river, so it probably wasn't even meant for. And that was for the river for Horseshoe.
What kind of gun did you shoot?
I started out shooting a Daddy bought me a Browning shotgun. One that I really shot was when I guess I was 16 years old. He bought a Browning shotgun. But before that, I shot some 20 gauges and I didn't shoot no 12. I shot 20 gauge. My brother had those guns and stuff out there, so anytime I needed a gun, he was always willing to take what,
Your brother ran a sporting goods
was
store.
a good store, yes, sir.
Mr. Tom, when did you start hunting with them?
High school, I assume probably sometime in high school. I guess.
56, 57, yeah. Anyhow, we was 15 years old.
My mother married a fellow that lived out right down 200 yards from the drudge ditch out there, and his parents, and so I got us out there in that same community a lot. I got my first gun when I was 12 out there, so that was probably around that time.
Now, what do you recall about how it was hunting that area back then?
Well,
Was it good hunting?
Yeah, we walked up rabbits and birds, and we didn't have bird dogs, and you could go out and get some shooting. You might not kill anything, but it's your fault if you didn't. And duck hunting was the same way. We'd go down there, us boys have a big time. We'd just find a place ducks were working, sit there, just have a big time. We just go where you wanted to go. Nobody bothered you. Nobody cared. Nobody fussed at you. I don't know. I can't remember any time that, unless we happened to go by a roost accidentally, that somebody got mad at us. You.
That's the same way when we grew up.
It just
Wasn't as, but it wasn't as many ducks when we grew up.
Can you? I tell you, the worst thing was that year we killed one or two. I can't remember. It was one or two.
That was the limit.
That was the limit. I mean, that was That a lot of people quit hunting that year.
That was in the 60s, wasn't it?
I don't remember what
Early.
year it was, but it
Yeah.
was.
He's in the 60s.
You didn't get set down good till you had to get up and go.
Get
Yeah.
one bunch in, you had your limit.
Yeah, you had to be very careful about that. And then they went to that point system, which wasn't too much better. It was some better, but
2 miles or you kill in, wasn't it?
well, according to what you killed,
And that wasn't but a 30-day season, was it?
it wasn't many. It wasn't like it is today.
Season's too long nowadays.
But yeah, you
It
wore
is.
out.
It's too long.
I know when we was getting to hunt more regularly, I was almost relief when that last day came.
They, and I wish we could, and I know they're around. We'll try to find some sometime. Maybe RT can post some of the old waterfowl regulations. Just take some pictures. But this is what I remember about the point system. Back then, you had 100 points. And once your total bag equaled 100 points, you were done. You bagged out. Back then, teal, pintails, gray ducks, things like that were 10 points. So you could kill 10 of those. Thing about it was, though,
We'd never seen 10.
You didn't see them.
No, it wasn't there.
Around
They
here.
weren't there. You didn't. It's not that teal did not exist. They did exist. Gray ducks exist. But I think this is what I think. I think those ducks went further south, and we got the mallards. And now we're seeing less and less mallards, but we're seeing more teal and gray ducks. And I think we're kind of becoming the end of the flyway.
Yeah.
And the mallards are staying further up north.
You know, you say that, but you made me think of something because I'm always going to try to disagree with you. Just the way it is. But,
And you're going to try to think.
but I mean, if we all just say what you agree or something, we never have another idea. But when we used to kill 300 ducks in a year or so, there was mostly mallards. Now we kill 600, 700, 800, and still kill 300 mallards.
Yeah, but
There's a lot more ducks around here than it ever was.
I don't disagree with you on that. But you're hunting
We're hunting twice as many days,
twice as many days, maybe even more than that.
but we still kill the ducks.
I wasn't alive back then, but I think they're still the same amount of mallards. They're just on different patterns,
And there's so many.
and they're
places.
very concentrated where they are.
Yeah, it used to
And
only
it's
be a-
normally somewhere they can't get shot.
Oh yeah,
that's what they do for a living.
they're smart.
They try to stay alive.
Well, since we got guests,
Pressure.
let's ask them this question: your favorite hunt together? If y'all remember your favorite hunt, of course you're probably like us, all of them your favorite, but just the most memorable if you have one. And people ask me this: what's your most memorable experience? Well, they're all good to me. The bad ones are the most memorable, but I don't like to think about them.
My favorite hunt with him is probably the last ones we went on. He and I went down to what I call the island, and we'd sit there and sit ducks down, get them up, sit them down, get them up, sit them down, get them up, never shoot.
Yeah.
We just down there, me and him together, and we hadn't been hunting together in a long time, and we've always enjoyed one another's company, and we just sit there and had a good day, and sit there as long as we wanted to. Got ready to leave, we got up and come home. Didn't have anything to dress.
Yeah.
We don't particularly like duck anyway, and so it was just a good time of watching ducks, and we got to see what we wanted to see. But I've had some good killing days, without question. We've had some together, but and we've been scared to death a few times about things that we've done. But like I said, that when I sit down and think about it, that one sticks out in my mind. But I'm getting old and sentimental in my old age.
Yeah, and you know you're 83. 85. Me and Tony are pushing our 60s. We see that more and more, just to get to go that next time. So that hunt was probably when y'all were about 60.
Oh, yeah.
If you
No,
think about
we
it,
was 50-something.
you're
I
still.
retired about 50. See, well, I started working in 58, and I came back in 89. So it was.
It was the last years I hunted a lot, whatever years it was. But like I say, it's like anything else. Everything changes the older you get. But hunting's been hunting's great. I think I want Scott to learn to hunt. I think everybody wants their kids to hunt. I think it's good. I think it's good for people. I enjoy the woods. I still enjoy the woods. But I don't regret anything about hunting.
No, it's just, and it gives you a lot of good memories.
Yeah, it does.
And when you get to this age, you think, well, heck, I'm about done. But it don't sadden you. You're kind of glad you had them.
Yeah.
But it ain't something you miss. As bad.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going back to even playing sports. I miss playing softball. But at my age now, I probably wouldn't much like playing softball.
Yeah.
You'd been in the woods with me this morning, Mr. Tommy. It sounded like there was a gunfight down there where Wally was.
Yeah, and a bunch of snipers over there where they were.
Well, all I do is duck and get down low.
No, it sounded like a one-sided gunfight. As many shells as was going off.
Well, I was winning.
Now,
He was hearing my ricochets.
Yeah.
Now, what was your favorite hunt?
Well, I guess looking back was probably back when Tom had a blazer, and I telling him I don't talk to him. I want to tell him about it when we came down here this morning. I said I couldn't believe the mud holes and stuff that we went through. He had them big old tires on that thing too. But now we was going down there where we was killing ducks. One of the best hunts that I can remember with him and Mr. Campbell and William Paul and Herman and Tommy, it was we went in, Mr. Campbell carried us in on a trailer. We got down there and ducks come in out there at noon. And I mean, we shot. And we had time of our life. So we going making big plans to go back the next morning. We made the big plans. You know how that worked out. We got down there and won a duck one.
Yeah, you done shot them out.
No, they left. Can't save them.
Done shot them out.
But you make some good friendships and some good memories, and you learn people.
Yeah.
Bond with your brother.
Did
Yeah.
you ever fuss and fight in the duck blind?
I don't fuss and fight with anybody but you. Not one other person. Now everybody else fuss and fights with you, but me and
I don't. The only person I ever disagree with most times is you.
That's just part of brothers.
that ain't got nothing to do with the duck blind, dinner table, church.
He hunted with his brother.
Who?
It's consistent.
His brother was old. He was like
My brother.
10.
My brother's old.
He was like 10. How old was your brother? 20 or 30?
My brother was 10 years, one I hunted was 10 years old.
Yeah, he was 20 years old and you was 10. Yeah, I mean.
Me and my brothers argue when we hunt.
I mean, y'all laugh at your daddy when he gets down in the mud. I almost shot y'all that day.
I did
not
see
like
it.
that.
I didn't even see it. I was in the mud myself, trying to crawl.
Well, your other two brothers were horse laughing.
Well,
Well, we appreciate y'all so much because these stories, the only way to save them is to get them on here and talk about them. But what I get out of it, duck hunting really ain't changed.
Not a
We
whole
all
lot.
like the same thing. Some people want them closer. Some of us like them further.
Well,
some don't want to shoot them.
It has changed. It's changed in the sense of what they hunted an Obion River that we've never seen and we'll never get to hunt. And it's changed. I mean, man changed it.
We used to hunt over 6 decoys.
No, I'm just saying. Well, I know I was there. They hunted timber. They would walk in and hunt timber. You don't see walking in hunting timber. That's not what you hunt on
the Obion River. But it might come back around one day.
Well, it may be, but it won't come back around in our lifetime.
Well, just because we wasn't here.
People would give you permission. You didn't have to
I mean, they hunted.
worry about being.
They hunted in a time where there wasn't as much pressure. They hunted at a time when people didn't have as much disposable income, so you were probably a little bit more conservative with your shells. They hunted at a time when there wasn't mechanized. I mean, they blew a duck call. They had decoys. They didn't have
I blow a duck call.
flapping wing things, batteries,
I got a question, Mr. Tom.
big old jugs painted black.
Mr. Tom, got a question for y'all too.
I bet
Y'all
they
were
had those
young
on the lake.
Y'all were young and times were really bad. You only had so many shells. But did you ever not shoot them because you was afraid you wouldn't have no shells for the next day when you was duck hunting?
I didn't. Tom,
Yeah, I guarantee you shot every shell you had. Figured it out.
Did you ever say, like, hey, let's try them at 60 yards when you knew
I
you could get them at
guarantee
10?
you they did it. I guarantee you on Real Lake y'all did it.
Yeah.
When you
Did.
wasn't
He
killing
said
ducks.
he didn't even shoot.
Yeah. Let me tell you something else we've done. Back in our days, we was ringing ducks out, and we was carrying them, or either had somebody picking the feathers off of them. It ain't like it was now, where they just jerk that breast out.
So y'all were plucking the ducks.
My mother picked a many a duck. As a matter of fact, I slept on in a bed in the wintertime with feathers in it.
Mama
Feather
talked
bed.
about
Feather
doing
bed.
that with her.
Feather
Dad.
bed.
My dad
what it
talks
was, didn't
about
have no
that.
heat.
Oh, yeah.
But,
It's a
but-
necessity.
But we had a black lady that lived over down the railroad track over there close to us. But we carried them over, and I think she dressed them for us for.
35 cents.
I think I first started. I think it's 25, and then that probably went up to 35.
But now think about it, 25 cents then would buy you 5 sodas.
Oh, yeah.
5 sodas.
Well, Bob,
Bubba dressed them
Five
for
sodas.
Bubba dressed them for $3 or $5. That'll buy you 1 soda unless you're getting 2 for $4.29.
Now, did y'all eat the ducks y'all killed? Did y'all eat most of them?
I'd always, or whoever I was hunting with, I'd tell them I didn't want the ducks. I don't care who it was, whether it was with Tom or John Leonard or Nelson Thomas. I didn't want the ducks.
You were generous.
Yeah, I gave the ducks away. And I did the same thing in dove hunting when I first started. And after that, I came back up here, and the boys at the city cooked some of them doves. They's as good as anything I ever eat in my life. And there I was, gave away 1,000 doves, and never even.
During the year, I'm curious, when you were hunting with your daddy and stuff, I mean, did y'all ever keep a total of how many ducks y'all killed?
My brother, he at one time, he kept a pretty good total on them. I know they was killing sometimes 500 or 600 a year.
I'd love to see like their journal, what they did kill, where I could argue with Tony about how the duck hunting's better than it used to be.
No, but they didn't. Y'all didn't hunt 60 days a year.
Daddy went duck hunting every day. As he got a little older, he didn't get up and go early in the mornings and anything, but normally mid-mornings he was headed to the duck blind.
Did y'all know,
The
like,
seasons were shorter.
other people that hunted in, hunted in the area around y'all, maybe not around Horseshoe Lake, but I guess north of y'all, and
Normally,
'cause I guess you'd be getting up in Obion, and
Yeah.
back then
Well-
it seems there was a lot of hunters, in Obion.
yeah, we had a lot of people that came in my brother's sporting goods store.
Okay.
All up that way and around, and we pretty well they was pretty well honest telling them where the ducks was and who was killing them and everything. So we had a pretty good idea of what was going on most
you
of the
knew
time.
you knew everybody in Newbern just like y'all know everybody in Bogota.
But you didn't call, but where we talked to people all over, y'all didn't call
No.
Obion because Obion was long distance. They come in the sport goods store, you did.
Yeah.
But I don't know that I ever made a long distance phone call in my life till I got a lot older, like 20. Called across the county line unless it was to our uncle in Union City. And I doubt if I ever called him, he might have called to the house.
Yeah,
It was a different time because a long distance phone call was
Yeah,
$1.
yeah.
Probably
That's
wasn't.
money, yeah. And
You didn't just
Every
talk
th-
to everybody everywhere.
every 3 minutes you had to put some more money in.
Yeah, when you did it on payphone. Was there anybody up around Trimble that y'all didn't hunt with that you know their names that did hunt? Or Obion?
Most of them Trimble guys went upriver even more, didn't they?
Well, he may know who they were.
Well, they
Elmer Scobie used to hunt at the fish pond, and he was, I think at one time that he worked for the Parkses, And when he hunted the fish pond, nobody else was allowed to hunt the fish pond, and he was from Trimble, Scobie.
Well,
Wasn't the Whitsons and
Yeah, they had
was
that-
all-
what was them other people on up through there?
oh, well, one of them just died.
Whitson was a
The
big
Switzers?
famous- Yeah, they
There were
big.
Switzers and Whitsons and
They had that 100-acre field
That's
right
right.
out Trimble. and
Bob Williams,
That was really popular.
a Page. Was
Pages.
it Pages?
Yeah.
Bob Williams' granddaddy owned 100-acre field at one time.
That was really popular.
Yep, that was on upriver from Trimble, so a lot of them people hunted that way in gooches.
Yeah.
We used to hunt the bottom between Mason Hall and Trimble.
Turnpike.
I don't know what
I think
we
it's-
call them. It's just we just
Yeah.
drove over and get in park and walked down to the woods. But we killed it there one year. A friend of mine, John Leonard, I think that's how I got him hunting. Was we got to going over there and we had good luck. Me and him would
You use a boat or you just walk out there?
walk out there.
Just walked out there.
it
and-
just water. We had, I think, best I remember, we wore heel boots, probably them old black rubber boots, but we didn't have
It was timber hunting.
timber. Yes,
You know, we used to have Dennison Sporting Goods, and in Dyersburg they had Ryland's Firestone Sporting Goods, and they carried a lot of the same high quality stuff back
we
then.
did. Yeah.
Western Auto carried guns too, I think, back then.
Back early, yeah, they had all kind of hunting. Our grocery stores and stuff sold shotgun shells and stuff like that. I worked at the grocery
Yeah.
store. We owned it there, and we had shotgun shells and stuff. We just
Hey,
Did anybody hunt up north of y'all? I guess Tom Hopkins. Did he own land north of that Horseshoe Lake back then?
not that I know of. I don't remember the name. The name Tom Hawkins is familiar with me, but I couldn't tell you anything about him.
I got you.
Yeah.
hey, y'all were raised in the New Bern in the 40s and the 50s, in the 60s and things. And I think it's one thing I do, I'll pick up an old annual and I'll look in the back at the advertisements. And I was in the 80s is when I was. And a lot of the businesses that were advertising your local high school annual back then, they're not there now.
No.
So tell us about some of the businesses that were in New Bern when y'all were kids. I think that's
Oh.
kind of interesting.
Tom.
Well, Jack Wells had a lumber company and a construction company over right in front of the funeral home.
Yeah.
Well, was there any car dealerships?
It's not there.
Yeah. I had a Ford dealership, Chevrolet too.
Chevrolet.
Aiken.
Chuck Motor Company was a Ford dealer, and Aiken Chevrolet for years and years. Both of them was,
Any grocery stores?
yeah, we was there. Combs
Had 5 grocery stores down in New Bern at one time.
there.
Any movie theaters?
Stanfield
Had a movie
one.
theater till the tornado came through on a Sunday.
Well,
like
they had
that.
a little while after that.
Yeah.
They remodeled and stayed several years. Man.
Now, was the bypass around New Bern there at the time?
Nah. Just old
Yeah.
we just call
Pretty
51.
The,
It wasn't
the
that-
old 51 goes from Trimble to Dyersburg to
Yeah.
Chicago to
Yeah.
Had
Yeah.
three liquor stores at one time.
Yeah.
They're probably still.
Two
Is any
pool
there?
rooms.
Is there
We
any
had
liquor
2
store
pool
there?
rooms.
two pool rooms. How many restaurants did you have?
Oh, see one.
2 most of the time. One.
In town. Well, if you count the sale barn, it'd be 3, I
Yeah.
guess.
If you counting down to Selborne,
They had a restaurant down there.
How
The sale barn was the sale barn was one of the big businesses, back then. On Fridays, New Bern was a bustling town.
Now, the
All
sale
farm-
barn was on the other side of where the depot is now, over
That's
there by the
correct.
case
Track.
place.
Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah.
Right,
there
go
at
ahead,
the
Mr. Tom.
railroad track.
Right across the tracks there. Yeah, it was.
Now, what happened on Fridays?
That's when they had the sale, and New Bern was full. My mother run a restaurant, and that was always a big day for the restaurants in town.
They'd have sales on Friday sometimes, so many that he run to 12 o'clock at night before they
It's-
quit
But
selling.
back then, people like farmers would bring their cow or something in the back of pickup truck with sideboards. It was funny to see the difference now and then, how people haul their cow.
People would come in and buy a cow or a hog or a chicken. I don't know what all they sell.
Well, they didn't sell hogs on Friday, but they did sell hogs there. They had a place there that bought
Called a hog
hogs.
barn.
Doc Robinson ran it for years and years up there. Good man. But the sale barn itself, they run 3 to 4 trailer trucks out there every Friday night going back to Memphis, not counting what all farmers and people bought. But that was a big business, New Bern. That and the funeral home and the bank, they always said was 3 best businesses in New Bern, and the whiskey stores.
The whiskey stores.
We was noticed for those 3 liquor stores. You'd have him.
But see, Gibson County was dry,
Yeah.
so we got a lot of business out
Obion
there.
County was dry.
Yeah, we got a lot of business.
Lauderdale County was dry.
You'd see cars loading up pretty heavy up there.
They put heavy springs on them back
Yeah.
then.
And go back. Oh, good
They
deal.
loaded up there.
But
Well, I appreciate it. RT, you got any questions for our guest?
Mm-mm.
What about you, Wally?
No, we've been really enjoyed it, and
Better hurry up and ask them. We ain't got much more time.
thank y'all for coming.
our days are over.
Yeah, all of us are.
Yeah.
But to the young people out there, y'all talking about you ain't got many days left. I hope you both are wrong. But there's people out there that are younger than me and Wally and RT and them. What would some advice of life? If people who like to hunt and enjoy the outdoors, or just anything you would give some advice to some just younger people? It doesn't have to be about hunting.
Well, it's back then it was a good sport. It didn't cost a lot to hunt back then like it does now. You got to have money or know people that's got the property and all this, that, and the other. Where we didn't have to worry about stuff like that at all, and we didn't get into our clothes line on what to wear and what not to wear.
What did you wear?
We didn't have nothing but long handles back then, I guess, when we first got started, and then they come out with those knitted underwear that we wore a lot. But I can remember the first goose down coat that my daddy ever bought, and it was a real goose down coat. And I think he paid $90 for it. Back then, $90 was a lot of money. But, buddy, that was the warmest coat. Between him, me and him both, we wore the heck out of that coat. I don't know who got it, but it was a good one.
They had goose down coveralls up there too. I can remember them. Yeah. We got our first walls coveralls from there, and they were warmer. Mine were blue. That's what I hunted in, some
Goose
walls.
down booties. Remember those goose down booties? They were blue.
Yeah.
I got some of them goose down booties.
But I
right
had
now.
walls, coveralls. Me and Tony never got to share. He was a slim and I was a husky. But we wouldn't, neither one of us petites though. We were.
I would fit in Wally's, but Wally wouldn't fit in mine.
He wouldn't share.
Well, I tell you, I love sports. I loved hunting. But I tell you, the most important thing in life is trusting in a good God, which we got. Having good friends is important, but a family, nothing beats family. Family is family, but friends are friends, and it's hard to beat. They carry you on when you go through life, but I think they make you live longer. I know they made my life enjoyable.
Yeah.
Well, studies show that.
Yeah.
Tom's always been, I consider him the best friend I ever had, but we started out playing together, see, at 7, 8 years old down on Monroe Street where they lived. I lived over on Jefferson Street. I'd either ride bicycle or run over there or whatever, but that's where kind of the boys in the community met, that we played baseball, football, basketball, all that, but all of them died out on us now.
Well,
I agree with y'all. I guess we're going by the age talking about this. I agree with y'all.
Yeah.
Good, true, honest friends. There's nothing better. Even if you don't see them 100 years, you still, I'm not 100, but if you ain't seen them in 10 years, next time you see them, it's just like you've never been away from them.
That's what you want.
And it's great to hunt with them. It's great to talk to them. Family, a good family, and just to believe in something that's greater, that's all good. And if you got them three things, you know, everything's pretty peaceful. You know, it makes life good, you know.
Where you get your contentment.
Yeah, know your role. And your role is not the top, believe me.
Where you can go hunting and not kill nothing, still be happy.
That's right. Because you can look around and see the earth and think, oh, my goodness. You
Forget
know.
about all the time when you fell in or stepped in water over and it's cold, man. I can remember one time walking off in the pipeline down at Rowan, and Tim Tabor and I was hunting. They had an old Dodge truck. His mom and daddy did, and the heater didn't work in that thing, and I thought I was going to freeze to death before we got back home. I was just about froze when we got back, but it was cold. But you forget about the good time. I mean, like that, you remember all the good times with that you had and ones that you hunted with and stuff like family.
Yeah.
I come from a large family. It's 10 of us, and I was a baby. I guess I got petted more, but I still got 3 sisters that's living older than I am. One of them is 94 already.
Really? Where she live?
She lives in Auburn.
Oh,
Margaret
okay,
Fanning.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And
I hadn't seen her in a while.
she's more or less kind of bedridden. She's in most of the time. But I got a sister in Paducah. She's 92, and then I got a sister next to me in Memphis.
And you're the baby.
I'm the baby.
And there were 10 of you.
Tony knows how you feel.
He does.
Getting petted
Yeah.
Did he get
by his
petted?
mama.
Yeah.
Still does.
Still have.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm the one that got petted. Did I ever tell you the story about the color of my eyes, RT? Never tell you, Mr. Tom. I'll save it for I'll save it for another time. Tell you how much I got petted. Well, I'll tell you right now. Our baby sister turned 50. I don't know, about 2 weeks ago.
July 25th was when her birthday was.
Yeah, we had a birthday party.
1st of August.
Yeah, somewhere around 1st of August. So this story is recent. And brother-in-law had a thing for her up at his house, and our family came, and some of, I guess our in-laws came, and some of their friends came, and I sat at a table with my wife and Wally and his wife and my mama and my brother-in-law's daddy, and there was another woman, I can't remember, who was sitting right across from me. I don't know how the story come up, but Wally and my sister started talking about the color of the eyes of all of us siblings. Well, they all said I had green eyes. Well, my eyes are just as blue as they can be. And then they wanted to argue with me about it.
Everybody consistently said he had green eyes.
Yeah. And my mama, well, you got green eyes. I like. Now, the only people that knew what color my eyes were my people that weren't blood related. My wife knew, my brother-in-law knew, everybody knew what color but the one that got, quote, petted, end quote, they didn't care enough about me to even know what color my eyes were.
Because your eyes was always closed because you're a baby.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, and then to argue with me.
Your eyes were green back in.
I wish his mouth was closed as much as his eyes.
Your eyes are about your eyes are about to be closed, and your mouth's about to be open.
We know his teeth's white. We've seen them
You're going to
enough.
have black eyes. You try something on me.
Not from you. Not from you, short boy.
Now they're fighting on that side. See, Tony, you don't get along with anybody.
That's because I'm not petted. I get along with everybody.
No, because you was overly petted.
Yeah, that's how it was. Oh, well, let me tell you another story. I'm the only one in the family who has a name that doesn't. My daddy's was Don. My mama was Judy. Wally's got a name that starts with a D. My 3 sisters got a name that starts with a J. J for Judy. My name's Tony.
Dang.
Ain't no rhyme nor
Hey,
reason.
they were going to name you Duty, but they thought it might go with you too long, so they just called you Tony.
They were going to name me after you. They could have named me D.A. if they'd named me after you.
Oh, Duty. They thought that would be too much.
Well, anyway, do y'all have it? And I want to say something else. I asked the two wise men about some advice, and they gave me their advice, and then an unwise man decided to pontificate. He going to look that word
do
up.
what?
Yeah, that's right.
Word.
He wanted to throw in his little words of wisdom, his Wally-isms, which really nobody cares.
I didn't have to go to the potty. I know that.
Hey, I'm just glad he kept it in English and didn't go into that trans,
Into that. You're right.
See how,
Wally,
I get treated.
Wally, anything else you want?
And I'm the elder of this podcast.
You're not.
Shame.
No, you're not. He's the elder.
I'm of
And then him.
the podcast. I'm the eldest.
Is this a podcast we're having right now?
Ain't it?
Yeah. So you're saying you're the oldest?
I didn't say I was the oldest at it. I said I'm of the four.
It
Should be the pagoda man and three little boys.
Now's
we
what
had to call it pagoda boys.
Now's what
There
it
you
kind
go.
of.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, well, I appreciate the stories. Y'all got to hunt at a time when y'all got to hunt on one of Dyer County's 6 rivers. That at a time that we'll never see again. We'll never see it. Maybe it'll happen in the future. But that was a special time. And I'm glad y'all shared those stories with us, and I appreciate y'all coming.
Yeah, we do.
He enjoyed it.
Wally, you got anything else you want to add?
I do. Now that you finally turned over the mic to me. No, I really don't.
Well, good. How about you, RT?
Did you say 6 rivers?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
So
rivers
6
run
now.
The rivers run through it, and that's Pagoda. Ain't there a movie, River Run Through It? There's been some arguments how many rivers it is. If anybody can give us some evidence that it ain't 6 rivers, please do, because Tony's been to 7, he's been to 5,
The
now he's
map
back
that-
to 6.
The map he sent me the other day looked like a 3rd grader drew it.
I seen that map. He said it was Indians that drew it.
Yeah,
But
he-
I
yeah,
didn't
it was
say that. I said it was drawn. It was
1836.
1836. It's in the
it was
Tennessee.
over real foot itself.
It's at the
Somebody drew that, put 1836.
It's in the Tennessee archives.
How do we
yeah.
know that's right?
Yeah,
Go and look.
that's the government.
Go and
Yeah.
look.
What 6 rivers do we have?
Mississippi.
Okay.
You got the real foot
They
right
run
there.
beside it.
Well, now I
it goes through
wasn't
it.
considering Reelfoot Lake. Okay.
Well, you got we call it the Bayou. It is a river.
Yeah.
You got the Obion River.
Yeah.
You got the Fort Dare River.
2 Forkadiers.
Well, you got 3. You got the Fork of Dare, then you got the Middle Fork, and then you got the North Fork, I think, comes in. Obion, Reelfoot, Mississippi.
You mean the South Fork, the North Fork, and the Middle Fork of the Fork of Deer?
But if they're all part of the Fork of Deer, is that not just one?
But
Well, wait a
ART,
minute.
we can't have this argument today
Hold on a
because
second.
it's
Do
going
they-
to be too
North,
long.
south, east, west.
I've
John Clore, will you get on this podcast
get
and we
on
can
it.
argue about this?
get on it. But if it was,
Let's don't
if
argue about it. Let's finish this one and have at it another one.
KW, one of our guests asked me why.
But he done agreed with you that the Bayou
know.
was a river.
Well, he's right.
No, you're influencing him.
I'm not even.
No,
Yeah.
because his exact words were, well, I didn't know that
That's
was
just
a river.
different
He said
channels.
that under
of
his
the river.
breath.
All right.
I couldn't think of anything except Obion, Mississippi, and I was saying 2 Forkadiers.
Yeah.
I didn't know where 6 come in at.
It's another podcast. Stay around long enough. You're going to hear it.
They want to dispute historical evidence, but anyway. Alrighty. Anything y'all want to add? I'm sorry y'all have had to go through the last 15 minutes.
When do you have
Enjoyed
a
it.
youth banquet?
Which it'll be, I think, the night of February the 7th.
We don't know yet, so we're not going.
What do you mean we don't know?
You don't
We
know.
haven't decided which one we're going
We're
to do
having
yet.
it on the first youth hunt the night before.
See,
I have decided.
This is how they do things.
Yeah.
Wally.
Well, that's when it
why,
is.
Why can't you get mad? But why don't we talk about that after in another episode? We can call that the youth.
It's going to be on the first weekend.
We can take
I
that to
promise
youth.
you.
We do that. You call it the Youth Banquet River episode.
It's going to be on the first weekend.
You
I
don't know
promise. Yeah, I do know that.
You don't know that.
All right,
I booked the community center.
Appreciate y'all coming today.
Thank y'all. Sorry.
Enjoyed it.
So you don't have
Enjoyed
a
it.
quote? Do I supposed to have a quote? No. Supposed to say a prayer.
Yeah.
All right, let us pray. Dear Lord, thank you for bringing us together for another good episode. We're sorry our guests had to suffer through part of ours, but they were such good guests. I hope they forget sometimes and come back. Lord, protect us. Help us to be strong. Let us always try to do the right thing and give you glory and know there's a greater good coming our way. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Well, listen, world, we're wrapping up another episode. You probably got about it when Mr. Tom and KW were talking. That's worth interesting to listen to. The rest of it probably isn't. We appreciate y'all listening to us. Pagoda Boys wrap up this episode. We're broadcasting from the No Limit Cafe in downtown Pagoda, Tennessee, the duck hunting capital of the world.